welcome to the Coach's Corner. We're joined by Broome head football coach. Well, Coach Fleming, I know that you had a good week off, but just tell us quickly about your experience with Notre Dame here. You had the opportunity to go up and see Notre Dame and Southern Cal play, but just tell us a little bit about that experience you had.
Yeah, it was very neat. It's a bucket list trip. Wanted to go and see a game, but also see the campus. Just so much. You've seen from movies and you see it on TV and everything. It's just one of those things that was, a great opportunity, and it was very enjoyable. It was everything you thought it would be. You kind of get chills walking around campus and looking at Touchdown Jesus, and just knowing all the history and everything that comes along with that program and that campus. It was just it was a very, very good trip.
And former basketball coach up there, who was a good friend of mine, Mike Bray, used to refer to him not as Touchdown Jesus, but 3-point Jesus.
Oh, there you go.
During basketball season, that he flips over to 3-point Jesus.
Oh,
on that, though.
Nice.
So, all right. You had a week off. And kind of while you were gone, had some interesting games in the region. We were trying to keep you updated on theirs, though, but the two teams that were tied for first played MVP and Woodruff. And, again, I thought that Woodruff may be possibly one of the best teams you played this year, that they really stepped up and took it to MVP last Friday night.
They did. They have some weapons on offense, but what people don't understand is how good they are defensively. They're so athletic and so quick in the box. They cause a lot of matchup problems up there, and which leads to everything else, negative yardage plays and so on. So, they did a good job of getting after their quarterback, MVPs, who's, kind of their playmaker for them. He does a lot of things, obviously throwing the football, but with his legs as well. And, they had a good, very good game plan, and, there's guys that did a good job of executing. So, it's, this week, after watching film, it gives us some things that we can definitely, hopefully take advantage of, which I'm sure, MVPs over there watching film and saying, hey, we got to get better at this too. So, it was a great film to watch, and it was a great film to evaluate. So, we had a great 2 weeks of practice. Last week we just Monday and Tuesday Tuesday and Wednesday was normal days, and we kind of scrimmaged a little bit on Thursday just to play and get them moving around at full speed. And so this week's been a good week so far. A great day yesterday and a great day today. So looking forward to what the rest of the week holds for us.
The other game, which was another one of your opponents still left there, was a barn burner too, that Chapman picked up their first win of the season, but had to come from behind in the fourth quarter to score to win that game 30-27 over Union County. So you got a chance basically to see what's ahead of you, and you got a chance, if you can win out these last two games, of getting that second position in the region, and you have the opportunity of playing over the next 2 weeks, possibly for a home playoff game too.
Yeah, which will be great. Be great for our crowd. We're just, we're so excited. Our group is so supportive. They show up every game, and we would love nothing more to being able to play at Royal Stadium in front of our people.
And you got to feel good too about these two teams that you have left, that you're probably going to match up pretty well against them too.
Yeah, I think we will. Just hadn't watched a great deal of Chapman, just not getting ahead of anything. But, watching MVP, just, I feel real confident about, what we're doing, and I feel real confident about how our guys match up with them. So, but, again, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to making plays on Friday night.
All right, we're going to go back. Trying to remember 2 weeks ago. I can't remember anything that happened. I can remember things happened 50 years ago, but
yeah.
Trying to remember that. But you had a really good win on the road where you went to Union County, took care of business. I think they went for it several times on fourth down. First half, I think every time they went for it on fourth down, but you were able to stop them and get off the field, and defense really played well, and the offense played well too, where you had a good all-around game from your whole team.
Yeah, we defensively played well. Obviously, it's big getting the shutout. That was great for our guys. They've been working hard. They've been getting better every week, and it's great for them to have that reward of getting that shutout. It was it was great the way our team um, responded. You know, we last year we're playing Union. We get up 14-0. Then things start turning, and so we got up 14-0. This year kind of the same way, and I think we sputtered on a drive, and they get the ball back, and our defense does a great job of shutting them down, and giving us opportunity to get the ball back, and go down the field and make plays. So I'm real proud of how they stayed after it. They stayed with their foot on the gas, and taking care of business. There was no time that we felt like that our guys were letting up, or we were going to let them back in the game. I thought our guys just they really took care of business, and just played really well.
You were also able to get a defensive touchdown from our
Yes.
player of the week over
Absolutely.
here. Nice interception, pick six right there too, though. But I thought one of the big differences in that game, really felt like that you dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And that was that your offensive line, where you were able to run it, throw it, whatever you needed to do, that they did a good job up front. And the defensive line was just harassing and pressuring them all night long too.
They were, and and again, that's the key to us each week. We have to be good up front on both sides of the ball to be able to do what we want to do, and our guys just keep getting better. And I thought that was kind of a evident of that last Friday. I thought our kids played hard and played well.
Okay. Now, you've had the week off and all like that. From a health standpoint, were you able to get people healthy? Anybody back you were missing, or where do you stand health-wise right now?
Yeah, I think we got one guy back that wasn't healthy. But the biggest thing is we had some guys that had some nagging injuries that were they still played, but they played hurt, if you will, and or banged up, I guess a better word. That they were able to kind of get healed up. So we feel like they're in a lot better shape than they were a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Well, you're on that stretch run right now, though. Tell us a little bit about what you've seen from watching the film on both sides of the ball for MVP.
Very, very physical and aggressive on defense. They got guys that get upfield. Linebackers do a pretty good job of stemming in and out. They want to bring pressure. And they played, seen a couple different things from them on the back end. They played a little bit of zone and play a lot of man coverage. They want to match up man coverage so they can bring guys, off the edge and between tackles. So offensively, the key for this week is being able to get to the quarterback. We have to be able to contain him. We have to be able to tackle him. We get a hold of him, and obviously they got a receiver that's pretty good. He's another guy. We got to know where he's at all the time on the field and make sure that we can take care of him. But anyway, that's what these guys look like, and they're like I said, athletic, good football team. So hopefully we can continue to get better.
And I believe I read an article where their quarterback was a junior transfer that came over from Dorman to play for them, though.
Well, I think the receiver is as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right there, though. All right, so looking ahead to the game, what do you feel like the keys to the game are going to be?
Well, I think the biggest thing for us offensively is up front. Like I said, these guys continue to get better, and we have to be able to communicate up front with as many guys as they bring and the different places they bring them from. And two, when we get matchups with we have to be able to get the ball to them and have time to get the ball to them and be able to make the play when we have that opportunity. Defensively, again, I think it all stems on containing the quarterback. I think if we do a good job containing him, I think that'll give us a chance to win a football game.
Okay, and I think you have made some adjustments too to your offensive line. I think going down, you kind of shifted some people around on the offensive line. I kind of noticed our offensive player of the week, he's gone to center now, hadn't he? So
he has, and this is something we should have done probably a while back. Eli Crow's been snapping for us, and Eli's done a great job. He really has, and we moved him to guard and put Carson at center. Especially when we're seeing a nose guard.
Mm-hmm.
It's just made Carson's he's a bigger, stronger guy. Eli's, he's a sophomore, and we just moved him to tackle to get him to pull and trap for us, and which he's doing. He's doing a very good job. So, and it's good to know we got two of those guys that can snap at any time. So, it's I think it's an adjustment that's helped us, especially against a hot front, and which I think we're going to primarily see even this week. So you may see Eli back at center some. So, whatever gives us the best chance. But we've moved a few guys around, and some guys have gotten better, and it's allowed us to play some more offense and some more defense. So, it's helped us all around to help keep some of our guys fresher.
It's that time of the year when playoffs are just around the country, just around the corner. You can tell I've had a 2-week break too. I'm a little bit rusty right here too there though. But, just kind of talk right now about what the brackets will be like as far as what region you're matching up with to play this year on that playoff with the way it looks.
Yeah, it's hard to tell with things shuffling around. It looks like Region 1's the possible matchup for the first round. So, there's a couple guys that's kind of battling in that position. So, we'll see where we fall. See if we can hopefully win a couple football games and control what we can control and put ourselves in good position to host a couple games.
Well, please tell me that we will not end up playing Powdersville. It seems like we play them first round every year.
Depends on where we fall. We could wind up playing Powdersville second round.
Okay, but not first round, though.
Not first round, I
but
don't believe.
It's got to feel good, though, because beat them last time we played them, though, so that's good right there. So that was good on that, though. Well, good to get back in the swing of things this week. I'm glad y'all had a great trip. Coach Tony and I were talking about that going to Columbia down there, about the trip there and what a good trip that was. And look forward to getting back in the swing of things and see if we can get this thing finished up and get us a home round playoff game before the season's over.
Sounds great, Coach.
Thank you. Good luck.